Have you ever noticed this happening to you? You lie down to sleep, the room is quiet, your body is tired, but your mind keeps returning to one specific person again and again. You don't try to think about them. You're not scrolling their photos. You're not talking to them. Still, they appear in your thoughts like an uninvited guest. And the strange part is, it might not even be someone very close to you. Maybe you haven't spoken in a long time. Maybe you barely interacted at all, yet your mind keeps bringing them back. Naturally, you start to wonder, why this person? Most people brush this off as random memory, but repeated thoughts are rarely random. When the mind repeats something, it is usually trying to finish something. Stay with me, because once you understand what's really happening here, these mental loops will start to make much more sense. Let's slow this down for a moment. Think about the person who has been stuck in your mind. Just picture them briefly. Now notice your feeling. Not the story, just the feeling. Is it calm, heavy, curious, uncomfortable? That emotional reaction matters more than the image itself. Your mind does not repeat people. Your mind repeats unresolved meaning. Here's a simple story to explain this. A man in his 30s, we'll call him Ryan, started thinking about someone from an old job. They were never close friends. They didn't argue. Nothing dramatic happened. They just moved on with their lives. But suddenly, this former coworker kept showing up in Ryan's thoughts during small daily moments, while making coffee, driving, waiting in line. At first, he ignored it. Then he got irritated. He even asked himself, why am I thinking about this person for no reason? After some reflection, he realized something important. That coworker reminded him of a time when he felt bold, creative, and confident in his work. A version of himself he had slowly drifted away from. The person was not the message. The memory of who he used to be was the message. This happens more often than people realize. Your brain links people to emotional states. When your life starts touching a similar emotional theme again, the brain pulls up the linked person, like opening an old file connected to that feeling. Think of your mind like a room with echo. Strong emotional moments create sound. If the sound never fully settles, it echoes. Repeated thoughts are emotional echoes. They continue until understood. Now here's something very important. Repeatedly thinking about someone does not automatically mean you should contact them, chase them, or build a relationship with them. Many people make that mistake. Mental repetition signals importance, but importance does not always mean action. Often it means awareness. From a psychology point of view, attention strengthens mental pathways. The more often you think about something, the easier your brain returns to it. It's like walking the same path across a field. The trail becomes clearer each time, but the reason you started walking that path is what matters. Was it regret, admiration, attraction, guilt, inspiration, loss? The emotion behind the thought tells the real story. Here's a simple self-check you can use. When this person appears in your mind, does your body feel settled or tense? A settled feeling usually means there is insight to gain. Tension usually means there is emotion to process. Your body often answers before your logic does. Some people come into our lives and leave a deeper psychological mark than others, not because of magic, but because they were present during a turning point, a first success, a painful lesson, a big risk, a moment of change. The brain tags them as emotionally significant. Later, when you face a similar inner situation, your mind brings them back into awareness. For example, when you are about to take a brave step, you might think about someone who once encouraged you. When you feel restricted, you might think about someone who represented freedom. When you doubt yourself, you might remember someone who once judged you. The person becomes a symbol inside your mental system. So instead of asking, why do I keep thinking about them? Try asking, what do they represent to me? Confidence, risk, safety, rejection, growth. When you name the quality, the pattern becomes clearer. Picture this like a mirror. Some people are mirrors in our psychology. They reflect parts of us. Sometimes parts we like, sometimes parts we avoid. The repeated thought is not always pointing toward them. Often it is pointing back toward you. Another important point. Strong thinking does not always mean strong connection. Sometimes it means unfinished emotion. There is a difference between meaningful reflection and emotional hunger. Emotional hunger says, I need this person to feel complete. Reflective meaning says, this person is helping me understand something about myself. One feels urgent and restless. The other feels thoughtful and steady. Learning to tell the difference protects you from impulsive decisions. Let's make this practical. Imagine you keep thinking about someone who rejected your idea or your feelings in the past. You assume it means you still want their approval, but after honest reflection, you discover something else. They represent your fear of criticism. The real work is not reconnecting with them. The real work is building inner confidence. See how the direction changes? Mental repetition often points toward inner growth, not outer action. So what should you actually do when you cannot stop thinking about someone? First, do not rush. Fast reactions usually come from discomfort, not clarity. Second, observe the pattern. When do the thoughts appear? What emotion comes with them? Curiosity, sadness, motivation, anxiety. Third, write it down. Writing slows thinking and reveals themes you might miss. Fourth, ask yourself 3 steady questions. What feeling repeats with this thought? What life period does this person connect to? What part of my present life feels similar? Give yourself quiet time with these questions. Insight grows in calm attention, not mental pressure. Sometimes you will realize there is something simple and respectful you want to communicate. If you decide to reach out, do it gently, without expectation. Share honestly, not emotionally. But very often, you will discover the work was internal. No message required, only understanding. And once the lesson becomes clear, something interesting usually happens. The mental repetition weakens. The echo fades because it has been heard. Repeated thoughts are not mental noise. They are mental signals. Your inner system communicates through patterns. Not every repeated thought is deep, but emotionally charged repetition usually is. Treat it like information, not irritation. Take one more moment now. Bring that person to mind again. Notice what you feel this time. Is there a little more distance? A little more clarity? That shift is awareness, and awareness gives you choice. If this explanation helped you understand your experience, you're not alone. Many people go through this silently, assuming it means something dramatic. Often it simply means your mind is trying to complete an emotional sentence. If you'd like, share your experience in the comments. Real stories help other people recognize their own patterns. On this channel, we explore human behavior, inner awareness, and practical psychology in clear, simple language. If you value calm thinking and emotional clarity, stay with us. And if you reach this point, here's a small focus challenge. Write the words "I'm aware" in the comments. It tells me you stayed present and thoughtful all the way through, which is rare and valuable. Until next time, stay observant of your inner patterns, stay patient with your thoughts, and remember, when your mind repeats something, it is usually asking you to understand it, not escape it.